Okay, so continuing these 10 to 15 period of time. So I remember the first time I arrived in Nouakchott, when I started to make friends, I met this boy at school who could tell time at any time, so to the minutes. And he is the nephew of Haba. Haba is a very big and known businessman at that time, and he lost favors with the military regime, and he had to leave the escape from the country and seek refuge in Senegal. And I don't know, but back then I have to check this. He was accused of being part of the coup d'etat of 82 that I told you about. So when I made friend with the side one day, in that's my first months when I got into the new school and joined my new friends, and so we decided to go to the ocean. I never seen the ocean before. I saw the river of Senegal, and it was majestic enough, but the ocean is completely a different story, because the ocean was humongous. So I remember we walk like, I don't know, 5 miles, maybe I don't know how many miles to it, and keep walking, and then I could see the dunes, and then the dunes gave directly to the beach, the white sand and the water. I was horrified because I never seen of uh, the end of Earth before I saw the ocean, because it looks like the horizon melted into water when I look farther away. So, and that was not very far as it looked. And I was very scared. Some of the kids went swim, I think, but I was so scared I couldn't brave the water. So I stayed, and then I saw that kids, they said that we could eat the shell, the inside the shell. And I said, okay, then I just did as the other kids did, or they told me to do. I didn't even think that they did it themselves. And so I start eating, and then I ate some of it, and they said that I should drink a little bit of salt water. It was horrible, and because they said it's very good for health. So uh, I went back that day, and I felt very, very sick. I had stomach ache, I threw up, and so turns out that the shells are really, really good. I should have collected them, because they are just on the beach. You just can't collect them. And I should just have taken them home and just boiled them, and they just would be the greatest food ever. But I didn't boil them. I just thought that you could eat them right away. And so I came back. That was like very significant, and I was always afraid of water, because I heard of stories, people, getting lost, people getting, drowning, and so. And the ocean, the waves were really very violent. That's what made me very scared. And yes, so uh, we came back. Like I said, I was very sick. So what else? The okay, 84, 86. So I closed high school, junior high, in 85. 85. And at the end of that year, you know, I think it was 84, 85. Yeah. And I remember I really wanted like more like French in my, because I want to learn more. I want to read more books. But the teacher was like somewhat lazy, and I didn't have anyone to help me back home because no one spoke French, and I really felt like, I was struggling, because no one helped me, and the teacher didn't like come all the time. I had many teachers. One of them was she was very, very good. I remember her, but I don't remember her name. And she was very strict. I remember one time, I never forget her, what she told me, because whenever you come like late, she always send you back, even like 1 minute late. One time, she told me, continue votre promenade. I never forget that. Yeah, she told me, you can continue your break. And she always, vous avez bien saisi? Uh, did you get everything? Did you get everything? And so, but she was like strict, and she didn't like. I didn't feel comfortable with her really, somewhat, because I couldn't follow her 100% because I didn't have anyone to help me. There was a very big gap. So in high school, all you need is just to pass, but you can get a diploma if you want to. But the diploma is a different test, and it's not compulsory. Only compulsory if you want, like, to use the diploma to candidate for other government like jobs or other like type of education outside of the regular curriculum, like you want to be like a nurse or stuff like that, or a technician. So I said, I'm going to do it just for fun, and then I just went and did it. And there are, like, you have the written test, and you have the oral test. So I did both, and I passed, but I never went to get the diploma. I never needed it. So, and now it is really big. So at that point in time, you have to choose, like, what you want to you're like major. So after high school in Mauritania, 3 years after elementary school, you make 3 years, and then you have to choose. You have to choose. So I had two choices: either to choose like literature or mathematics. So you have literature, mathematics, biology, and then Islamic and philosophy studies. And so I, what came in question for me was, Namus is killing me, Kitty. You get under the covers. No, I don't want. I want to go outside. So, and and so the Arabic teacher, my Arabic teacher, wants me to do literature because I did really well in Arabic. He thought, because one time he gave me an essay, give to the class. We did it, and he gave me like more than he like gave me like above the grade that he foresaw for that part. Meaning, like, for instance, like, you have the test of the essay is like maybe 30%, and the rest is like 70%. But he says he's going to raise that 30% just because he liked that essay. So he really wanted me to do literature, but I chose mathematics because it was simpler and no hassle, like, no discussion. Like, mathematics is agreed upon by everyone, but literature, I can write something, you like it, and someone else doesn't like it. But mathematics, either you like it, like everyone else, or you don't, just like everyone else. And so uh, I will not talk about senior high school because that's would be the next assignment, I presume. I just want you to remember like everything that uh, I forget to share with you in this period of time, 10 to 15. It was good. I always wanted to have good clothes. My brother Muhammadin always gave me his clothes, and like my brother-in-law, he sometimes he takes me to school, but I didn't like him to take me to school because his car was not good, and I didn't want the kids to see that my family is poor. And also, I hated when my family bought me second-hand stuff because second-hand stuff is very obvious, and that I started to have like feeling, for the other sex and so, and I want always to be, uh, you know, I just want to be popular. I'm popular. Like smart is not enough to be popular. You have to have good clothes. You have to have. It's my podcast with Larry, and you have to be more than just popular. You have to be more than just like knowing how to uh, have good grades. You have to have good clothes. You have to be in style. At some point, I really want to wear jewelry because I saw the Lebanese kids that in the rich part of the city they had like jewelry, and I just want to have them. I have to have good pants and everything. Like I told you, I really sometimes I spend time with my cousin who works in a convenience store beside the French embassy, and we used to we used when his father went away, we ate some of the convenience store without paying money, like soda. We drink soda, Coca-Cola. I loved Coca-Cola. It's really tasty. And then we take bread. And then the worst thing that we did, we take the money from the store and we go to another store and buy stuff. And and then one time there was this Russian cultural center, not Russian, Soviet Union cultural center. They have like events. They show movies and for free. I didn't see the movies, but I went there. And then sometimes they bring musicians from Africa. They make shows, and then we always like ask for permission to go there. His dad's permission because I stayed with them. And then his dad, when we came back, we tell him, uh, you know, we saw this, we saw this, we saw the movie. And then one time he asked us just one question. Did they give you guys cigarettes to smoke? And that was like a very big question because cigarettes was a taboo for a kid. And most certainly, if you did it, you wouldn't share it with your father. But he is your father is asking you whether they also give cigarette. So that was his way. He was very gentleman. That was his way to signal to us that he knew about our shenanigans, about our stealing from the store, and he suspected that we smoked when he wasn't around. So I don't know whether I did smoke. Most likely I just would follow suit because his son was older than me. But his son was doing about just about everything. His son one time he was very smart, so his neighbor told him, "You go to school. You don't need to work here." His neighbor was a good guy. He said, "And I pay for your school, everything." But he didn't. He thought that was too much, taken away his freedom because he saw that I didn't have freedom. Who else also has a store was my brother. My older brother Shido had a store, and it looks like every time I come to him, he wasn't happy to see me, and I don't know really, why he didn't. So, and I came there because I want like to eat stuff and so, and but he he didn't like. He only gave me a little, and so he didn't let me like have my ways in his store. But when he left, then my other brother, who was also a student at the time, he entrusted him with the store, and then he left. And then my brother started opening everything, sharing with me, and then I felt like, to be honest, I felt like guilty a little bit because I was, aiding and abetting in a way, or at least I was using the fruit of his crime. And but it felt a little bit, because it was him who was doing the stealing and so. And but today he claimed that it was his because he worked in that very short time, and he thought that he deserved something in return. So, but going back to Mukhtar's father, the one beside the French embassy, I learned a lot from that father. He was very cool. He was always sitting, like praying or singing some poems. And I memorized so many poems because he kept reading. He had a book. He read about the life of Sheikh Ahmed Dubamba, a Senegalese Sufi, who is very known, who has a very, very big very big followership in Senegal to this day. And he had some encounters with the French. His students and his murids say stories that amount to legend. That he challenged the French and so on. They couldn't get him because he had the help of Allah on his side. And he read all of those stories. He read all of those, poems, and I memorized a lot of them. And he he was good. So the neighbors, all of them were rich. Sometimes they bring us food. Sometimes this neighbor, when he goes on vacation, he let us sleep in his house. It was very huge house with bedrooms, with everything. Like I get lost. I don't know. But the thing that really bothered me in that neighborhood is mosquitoes. A lot of mosquitoes. Whenever I walk that neighborhood to this day, the smell is the same of those trees, the same of those flowers. Most of the houses are the same. And yeah, I think that's it now for now. Thank you very much.